Deschutes River, discovered in 1805 by Lewis and Clark, originates at Lava Lake, southwest of Bend, Oregon, in the Cascade Mountains. With an average drop of 13 feet per mile, the river flow averages 4 miles per hour. We are beginning our trip at Warm Springs Reservation, approximately 100 miles upstream from its junction with the Columbia River. This highway bridge crosses the Deschutes River just below the Warm Springs put-in area. The highway is a major route for recreationists traveling from the Portland area to Warm Springs, Mount Bachelor, and other Central Oregon destinations. The Deschutes River is bordered on the west bank by the Warm Springs Indian Reservation for the first 28 miles of your float. There is no public camping on that side of the river, and fishermen must have tribal fishing permits to fish limited sections of the river. Please respect this private property. The first 9 miles of river to Trout Creek Campground is very calm and serene, so relax and enjoy the scenery. If by chance you see and recognize this butte, you will know that Trout Creek Campground is right around the corner. Trout Creek is another popular starting point for boaters. Restrooms, boat ramp, and campsites are available here. After departing from Trout Creek, you will encounter a small section of ripples before the major Trout Creek Rapids. Trout Creek Rapids is your first major whitewater, approximately 1 mile below Trout Creek campgrounds. Take this rapid in the right side channel, avoiding midstream rocks. This osprey nest is located at the mouth of the Warm Springs River. The river is named after the hot springs that are located near the Canita Resort. As you can see, this osprey has just caught a big trout for lunch and is on his way back to the nest to feed his offspring. Rainbow trout fishing on the Deschutes is world famous. The fish are distinctive in appearance with bright red side markings. They grow to 24 inches long and are excellent fighters. Fishing regulations for the Deschutes are single barbless hooks on flies or artificial lures only. A 2-fish limit of trout 10 to 13 inches long is in effect. This may change from year to year, so be sure to check regulations at the beginning of every season. The red sides are well known to the fishing crowd throughout the West. Spawning season for these fish is usually in the spring, and most guides have a catch and release policy during this time. The river is now being managed as a wild trout stream. The Deschutes also holds a fine summer steelhead run, with spring and fall chinook runs also. These beautiful salmon and steelhead are very strong and provide a challenging battle for any fisherman. Various types of boats are used on the Deschutes. Rafts, Mackenzie-style drift boats, and inflatable kayaks are among the most popular. This is the warning lip about 2/10 of a mile above White Horse Rapids. We suggest you pull out on the east bank a little ways below this warning lip to scout White Horse, for the simple reason that any rapid can change from week to week. Let's take a quick run through White Horse Rapid, then we will explain its background. White Horse Rapid is a Class 4 rapid with 3 stages that drops 25 feet in the first 300 yards and 75 feet in the next 3 miles. There are several routes through White Horse Rapids, but the right channel seems to be the most popular. A large reddish-colored rock in the middle channel has claimed many boats. Each boater has their own name for this rock, but the most popular, excuse my French, is "oh shit" rock, which is most everyone's verbal expression as they start to go over it. Whitehorse is not quite finished with you yet. There is still the lower section, which we are entering now. The last stage of Whitehorse Rapids is also known as the log jam. It is called this because of the large driftwood piles left after winter and spring floods. The upper end of Whitehorse Campgrounds is now on your right. This is a good place to stop and bail your boat out, check for damage, and use the restrooms. This campground is approximately 3/4 of a mile long. You are now approaching Davidson Flats. The cabins on the upper end of the flat are private property of the Dalles Rod and Gun Club. The lower end of the flat is suitable for large groups to camp. Toilets are available at this campsite. You are now entering the North Junction area. North Junction was established in 1910 as the northern junction of the two railroads which were competing to be the first railroad from the Columbia River to Madras, Oregon. North Junction offers limited camping right below the railroad trestle. This is also the beginning of much private land owned by the Deschutes Club on the east bank for the next 14 miles. There is usually a fire danger period during the months of July and August, which means no open fires. Cook with white gas or propane only. Heavy fines are issued by patrolling cadets if these regulations are being disobeyed. Please keep the Deschutes a scenic waterway by packing out your trash and disposing of it at your takeout area. Everyone will appreciate your cooperation. The east bank of the river is divided between public and private land. Know where the public land is before you camp. It is becoming more and more important for the boaters to respect private property as a means of getting along with the landowners along the river. Not everyone detects this rock formation located on the west side of the river, known to some as Bear Rock. This is Dill Island, named after early-day fishing guide Don Dill. Some refer to this as Paradise Island, but unfortunately there is no camping allowed on any island in the Deschutes. Approximately 1/2 mile below this island is the beginning of the powerboat deadline and the end of the Warm Springs Indian Reservation on the west bank. These are some of the various geese found along the river. Other birds often seen include blue herons, chucker partridge, red-tailed hawk, cliff swallows, ducks, and an occasional osprey. This is an old perlite mine operated by two developers named Dant and Russell. The perlite mined here was used in plasterboard and acoustical tile. This war surplus lifeboat is used to ferry people and supplies across the river to a small settlement. This site was once a railroad station named Frida, but was later changed to Dant when the mining for perlite started. When the mine shut down and the people left the area, a group called the Deschutes Homeowners Association purchased the homes and still uses the lifeboat. This is one of many historical railroad landmarks along the Deschutes. This particular tunnel was constructed in 1912. In 1906, the Oregon Trunk Line was formed. They surveyed a route from the Columbia River to Madras with the intentions of building a railroad up the canyon. 1 year later, the Deschutes Railroad Company surveyed and filed similar maps, thus starting a long, multi-million-dollar struggle between two of the great barons of the railroad. The two railroads were built entirely by picks, shovels, wheelbarrows, hand drills, and black powder. This was one of the last big jobs done entirely by hand. Eventually, the two railroads merged, and by mid-century were operating on one track. Most of the old Deschutes Railroad on the east side has been converted into access roads along the river. You are now approaching Buckskin Mary. This is a popular rapid for boaters to walk back and float through in their life jackets. Several campsites are located just below this rapid on the east bank. Different approaches to Buckskin Mary. We don't suggest this rollover technique, but just in case you see this happen to anyone, please try to offer your assistance. For the next couple of minutes, we will be going through what many boaters call the Four Chutes Rapids. A small campsite with toilets is located on the east bank just after entering this rapid. About 60 million years ago, much of Oregon and California were under shallow seas. Eventually, the floor of the ocean began to rise, draining the water into what is now the Pacific Basin. A period of life existed following the uprising until the volcanic period came about 7 million years ago, killing or driving away all life. At that time, a great uplifting of volcanic rock formed the Cascade Mountain Range and created a desert of basalt throughout the Central Oregon region. About 20,000 years ago, the Ice Age began, forming thick glaciers over the land. As the ice finally began to melt, it created a flood of great force and destruction. The runoff is estimated to be 1,000 times the volume of the great 1964 flood. The erosion from this runoff gouged out the Deschutes River Canyon and made it what it is today. This is Wapanisha Campgrounds, a warning that Wapanisha Rapid is just around the corner. Wapanisha is a Class 3 rapid with several large boulders scattered throughout its length. The safest route through this rapid is down the right side, avoiding the midstream boulders. Shortly after Wapanisha Rapid, there is a large rock on the right side of the river, creating a 5 to 6 foot drop. This is commonly called Devil's Hole, or Sleeper. You are about to enter Boxcar Rapids, which received its name as the result of one of the worst railroad accidents in the history of the Oregon Trunk Railroad. In March of 1954, 3 locomotives and 12 boxcars derailed as the result of a rock slide covering the tracks. 1 boxcar and 1 engine went into the river, killing 2 men. Boxcar is a Class 4 rapid and should be scouted by the amateur boatman. This is where our photographer will be sitting, waiting to take your photo through Boxcar Rapid. This is the beginning of our 4-minute Boxcar edit period. Any number of past, present, or future weekend runs can be dubbed in this time frame. If you do not have any edits to watch in the next 4 minutes, this is a good time for a break.
Okay. Okay, that last boat was D34. Back up, D33 one boat. Yeah, whoa, look at that. All right, 3 shots on that. Yeah, there we go again. Look at it. We got something going here. Okay, first boat on E. My next one is 7. This boat is E7. Just go on from here. Yeah. 2 combos, E7 and 8. Okay. 2 combos, Ripple and a guy falling out, E9 and 10.